Hey, on the news. Yes, it is Wednesday. It's so good to see Dreamer. I've been thinking about you a lot. It's so good to see you. Oh, this morning. Hi, precious. You're such a beautiful person. It's Cotman. Yes, you are. It's the sunrise and those brown night ships. How we doing? You're the one that I desire. Yes, indeed. It's time for us to wake up. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're my water when I'm stuck in the desert. It's a good one. It is a good Wednesday night. We are so blessed to have this opportunity.
Good evening, good evening.
So beautiful, but I get to hear y'all voices. I'm so excited about tonight.
That sounded good.
Wasn't it nice?
Yes.
Oh, y'all so good. It did. Well, I will try to bring it back. You know, I'll forget by the time we get to the end. You're like, you promised to play it again. I will forget that, I promise. We're talking, I hear Miss Davis trying to say something. Oh, that's probably, look, I don't even think that's Miss Davis. I'm sorry. Blaming it on Miss Davis. That's somebody else's stuff. It's so good to see y'all. Thank you for sharing your Wednesday night with me. This is AfroEconomics Live. This is a great opportunity for us to talk about investing. Investing is not gambling. That is my thesis statement tonight. How many people think of, investing as gambling? And I would say there's always a phrase, like no matter what you do, there's something that someone says. I guess I could say if you're a nurse and they say something joking about nurses that you find offensive because it's not funny, but it's just the joke that they use for your industry, or or you're a hair, or you own your own salon, you're a cosmetologist, and you do this, and then they have some sort of joke about it. Well, the thing that I don't like about when people approach me as a financial advisor, they say this phrase. They go, I play with the stock market sometime. Y'all ever heard that?
Can't play with money.
Can't play with money. Tell them, baby. You can't play with money. Right?
Yeah.
But have y'all heard people say that? They go, I play.
Yeah.
That is, that's like saying I play at the department store, or I play at real estate. Do you never hear anybody say I play at real estate, or I play
like Monopoly? Ain't no Monopoly board game.
I know that's right. It's way different.
Well, they just trying to say that they're not serious. They're novelists with it.
Right?
You dibble and dabble in it.
That's right. And what are they saying to someone like me who, I practice and study the science of it. It hurts.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, say, oh, please, I love this. Exactly. Great response. No, they don't say that. Because generally they say, I play, but they, really think that they're smarter than everybody else. And then, I thought, and I said, there's so many do-it-yourself investors now. I'm doing my topic on Monday on CBS is do-it-yourself investing. This new movement with the apps and all of that stuff going on. So and they said that there are more new Black investors than ever before. But at the same time, less Black people were investing last year. That part, really gets left off. But, because, the headline I saw, in a couple of magazines was that more new Black investors than ever before. And it's amazing how much we can play with statistics. But during the same 2020, the Black people who actually, because they said on average that the new investors were investing about $500, But the real people who were older investors who have money, the largest percentage of people who took out loans against their retirement were Black people last year. That's a challenge. That's going to be a challenge for us going forward for closing the wealth gap. The purpose of AfroEconomics is to build wealth in the Black community. No, this pandemic can't stop us. So from that point of view, we don't have any time to be playing with money. And even like, I'm not given the opportunity because, I'm just me. Like, it's just us. Like, but if I were given the opportunity for some global scale to make a statement, I would say is that we are not in a position as a people to play with any money. If the bulk of the people who are playing with their money and doing these investments, because these little machines now will allow you to open up accounts when other services would basically force you to save up more money before you can participate. But these little machines are saying you can start with whatever you want. Download this app, start with whatever you want. And so these transactions are taking place, but at the same time, they're playing with this, but they're not paying their bills. This same age group is more likely to have a school loan, to have a credit card balance.
That's why they're trying to get.
To have a car payment. You said that's why they're trying to get money. They're trying to get ahead.
No, I'm lying. They probably spend that somewhere else if they get it.
Yeah, and that's probably a lot of it, because the majority of the response, FINRA did a study and they were asking people in general, not just the Black investor why they're doing this, but they were asking people in general, like, why did you start investing, in 2020? And it was because they, wanted to do it for the long term. They wanted to save some money for their future. But we should realize that what slows down your ability to retire is what?
Debt.
Not having the money to pay the bills. So if you're doing this because you're doing these high transactions,
Spending.
lack of savings because you can't meet the demands of the bills. And we see a growing percentage of our community that are growing older. And when I mean older, I mean over 80, with mortgage debts, credit card debts, school loan debts. We have seniors whose Social Security checks are being taken, like a portion is being taken to cover school loans. I met this one lady and she had just finished her master's and she had $265,000 in school loan debt, and she was 65 years old. Excited about starting her Social Security. And I said, you understand, they're gonna take part of your check to pay those school loans. She said, what are you talking about? I said, billions of dollars every year are taken from Social Security to cover past due school loan debts.
How many degrees does she have to owe all of that?
I know. It was only a master's, only up to a master's.
Oh, wow.
260 something. That's a lot. And not working in her major, not even working in the field. However, in my book, I have a section on, make sure that you get the book. This is a workbook, but this is the companion workbook. In the book, I talk about how we have to be careful, look all upside down, how we have to be careful about how we invest in additional debt at the different phases in our life. because you have to make sure that that debt pays off for you in some way. You know, and I'm not saying I'm not discouraging us to go on and, you know, further your education. That's cool. But if you're not gonna work in the field, like, you know, she was, you know, studying theology, you know, and then she didn't have a church, and she didn't, you know, like, you know, that's a challenge with all that debt, you know, for that field, and being grown and still doing the same work you did before. We have to think these things through. That's what that's what an app can't help you walk through. So when you think about, oh man, she's talking about them apps, because the app, like these apps, they gonna put financial advisors out of business. No. It is impossible for an app to do what I do.
That's right.
So artificial intelligence is designed to help a good advisor assist you with all of the research and algorithms and analysis software and things that I have, and the pretty little reports that I can print out. And they still can't compete with my reality, the reality that I know what to ask you. A machine doesn't know you. I can look at my people's face and I can tell what you've been through and what I need to ask you about. I can tell. There are certain things that we have in common. So when I say we don't have any time to waste, we don't have any time nor money, especially we don't have it to waste. We can't play. This is not a gamble. No, so we do need to put some effort, some strategy into our investment decisions. The information is out there. Like, you don't, you know, if you're like some, like, you know, person who's like, I don't want no advice from nobody, you know, then you just go out there and at least take the time to research the investment that you're considering. Look at long-term performance. How much has it done over the long term? Because investments, contrary to probably popular belief, it's not like gambling. You're not trying to, you know, make the money and, you know, see what you've made the next day. You know, that's not how the majority of us build wealth over time. We want to be in a, I'm taking the money, I'm putting the money away, I'm putting the money away. You have an accumulation stage of your life. So you're putting it into the investments and you're allowing the investments to grow for you. So you want to pick a good investment that has at least past history that shows what, you know, you got to really think about, you know, okay, this looks good and people have been bragging about it, you know, and this, you know, all this stuff, but how have they done over the last 5 years? How has it done over the last 10 years? Because you don't want to be flipping and flopping and worrying and stressing and paying different fees and, you know, trading in and out, and don't even start thinking about the tax liability if it's a non-retirement account. And the bulk of the new accounts that were opened up last year for our community were not retirement accounts. They were accounts that they wanted to have access to immediately. So they're buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. You know, they haven't even thought about the tax consequences. And like the other day, Miss Davis, how you doing, Miss Davis? I was asking me about watch sales, you know, and I said, you know what, to myself, I said, we're going to look at that on our members only meeting on Friday. I want us to talk about capital gains and watch sales so that we're familiar with these things, because they're coming out on your statements. You need to, you know, have a better understanding of it. And I want to become very good at articulating it, because sometimes you can understand something, but if you can't articulate it to someone else, you know, and show different scenarios, then you really haven't mastered it. That's my thing. I want to make sure that I become very good at empowering us, not sounding like another news story. Yes.
Yeah. I want to thank you for that. So, because I text you and then you got right back to me, you know, as quickly, I'm sure, as you could and everything. And so I want to thank you for that, because that was an educational moment for me wherein I would have turned right back around, repurchased the sale of the shares I just redeemed out.
That's
And you
right.
said, hold up just a minute. We
That's
need
right.
to wait and put this on hold at least for 30 days.
That's right.
So I have actually taken that under high advisement.
Wow.
Oh, I really want to appreciate you for that, because I would have probably just kept going and going. But the other thing
Beautiful.
I kind of wanted to, you made
Sure.
mention of how, we have Black people, we've started to invest now that wherein we weren't doing it, like, let's say a couple of years ago. We've got the Cash App. It's
That's
very inviting. It'll say Bitcoin. Oh, you can buy shares in McDonald's, shares and maybe perhaps Pepsi. So they're making it very inviting
That's right.
for people who have like the Cash App, or let's just take Robinhood, for instance.
That's
And
right.
here is the caveat behind that. They also provide you with a credit card or a debit
wow.
card. So let's just say maybe you did earn something. Oh, well, I just earned, I don't know, $300. Oh, I can just take that and buy a pair of shoes. It's not like you're saying set up for long-term investment.
Oh my God. And they know, but check it out. That credit card privilege is allowing you to buy things on what is called margin without teaching the investor that they're buying things on margin. And then you saw the young man with the Robinhood who killed himself because he didn't understand that he had to wait for some things to settle. So he actually thought that he had lost a lot of money and he had actually gained money. But they didn't have a customer service department for him to talk to. And he wrote a letter to his parents apologizing for losing the money and then killed himself. That's horrible. That's horrible. And you don't see and they even, his parents and things, it was even discussed before Congress, but you haven't seen this really being talked about. They're going to look into this farther only because of the GameStop situation where they actually stopped allowing people to sell or acquire a position in the stock. So they actually froze it and, cost people, a lot of money. So they couldn't take care of their transactions, but they looked out for the large investor who was losing losing money because it was going up, 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 up. So the app looked out for the hedge fund managers and not for the little man. But you don't see that being discussed. You know what I mean? In a normal conversation. But you know what? That's why we have AfroEconomics. But we have to understand that ultimately, if you're sitting there buying investments and taking loans to purchase the investments, you're going backwards. We're going backwards. And a lot of people should be putting those into retirement accounts so they can write it off on their taxes. But instead, they're doing it in an account so that they can have access to it. They're not talking to them about the delayed gratification benefits and the tax benefits of doing a retirement account. So then they're paying taxes every time when they have these capital gains, hopefully, or not even understanding how to take care of losses. I'm talking to a client earlier today, and I was looking at an account that we're working on transferring out. And I was like, that before these were sold and created the gain for the year, it would have been great to actually farm some of these losses, because there's stocks that are out that have losses for you that you could have you have to pay a gain unless you have a loss that will counteract it on your tax return. And then if not, you can carry your losses forward. And that's how the situation with Trump, when he wasn't doing stocks, he was doing real estate losses, but you can do loss carry forwards. But those are the things that a machine's not going to do. So I look forward to the future, because I feel that having a good advisor and having AfroEconomics will become even more valuable, unfortunately, because of the things that will be created from the mistakes that are being made.
That's right.
That will be more of a, what in the world have I done? Let me talk to her. Why aren't I getting ahead? You know, so because you have people who are putting money on an app, but not taking advantage of retirement plans at work. Y'all feel me?
Yeah.
With a match.
They want to play.
JP, let me go one step better. I work with quite a few young people, and in the 401k plan, especially at my second job, many of them are busy taking out loans. And I heard somebody say a couple of weeks ago, you know, the company now, they will only allow us to take 2 loans per year. They used to allow us to have 3 loans, but now they're only allowing us to take out 2. And so they're buying into the theory of you take the loan, but you pay yourself back.
Yep.
Well, you're taking the loan out in the market where it is, you know, right here, but you're paying it back 9 times out of 10 at a higher premium, and they just are not.
I mean, Miss Davis, thank you so much for saying that. And not to mention, look, they probably aren't even investing it correctly, the balance that is there. And then the money that you're putting in, say you got $400, but you are at your loan payment is $400, and you're only able to put in $450 a month. So only $50 is actually adding to your balance. You know what I'm saying? Because you're putting money towards trying to get rid of the loan. Imagine, you know, if you didn't do that. But they're using it as some sort of financial strategy because, you know, I'm paying myself back. No, you're not. They're charging you interest. It has an interest rate on it. So they make money. That's why they're opening these things up, mostly for the data, the information on you. They're getting your social, your birth date, your name, your number, all of this stuff. You know, they're getting all of that data on you that they didn't have, and you don't know what you approved in that fine print when you clicked accept. So all of it, so they're collecting your data, then they hit you with all these loan offers, insurance offers, this offer, that offer, solicitations that you didn't even need to be exposed to. It's amazing. A lot of stuff is just for the data. Do you know how much money that companies will pay? You know what I mean? Just for names and numbers. Lord, and they have socials and stuff. So there's so much that they can do in so many different directions they can take their information processing in. Next thing they're going to be doing car insurance. Then they're going to do and they don't have to help you. They don't have to help you. They don't have to have a license like me. They don't have to answer to anybody because you did it. This is all based on you. And then they just say, pay extra if you want this research. And then you pay extra for that. Next thing you know, it's kind of like when people switch out of cable, and then all of a sudden you go and you're buying all of these apps, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm paying as much as I was for cable. I might as well buy cable because $15 for this, $20 for that, $30 for this, $20, $5, $10, you know, all of it. It's whoa. Have you ever done that? Like when you switch from one thing to another and you promise yourself, I know I'm saving money. And the next thing you know, you're back higher than it was before. I know, right, Mr. Harden? It's like, how in the world does that happen? Good to see you. Look at y'all. Look at Miss Dickens. How you doing, Benita? All of y'all are just,
JB, how's it going?
Hello. It's hard not seeing you with your construction hat on tonight. But you know what I was saying about, like, when you start getting nickel and dime, like you think the $100 is too much, but then you get nickel and dime up to 125.
Yep.
Easily. And we have to be careful with that, you know, with the apps and things that we're, like, I've told people that why have a credit company? Like these credit companies are like $190 a month, when in membership, we can go over your credit together, and the membership is a fraction of that. Like why? You know, and there's nothing that these credit companies can do to change your credit report. I don't care what they say. No. And then they have to write you a letter that says we cannot You can't do yourself. So they
I,
right?
right. I requested them to take me off the list, like the stop selling my information so these people can keep contacting me. I had to take them off the list.
Good for you. Good for you. Like you put it on your credit report.
Right. I requested them to stop selling my information, take me off this list, and get these people to stop having them call me.
Good. We all need to do that. Now they're down to texting you. I got a text today was just like, hey JB, you know, well today I actually got one that just said, hey JB. You know what I'm saying? I knew that was a setup. And then but I also got one that said I won the iPod or something like that. You know what I mean? Click here. I'm not doing it. Like, you know, how did we get on these lists?
Right.
So, you know, and it's because, you know, especially if you're, you know, doing these things, signing up for these apps and stuff like that, like, you know, they do need, so especially your young people, like help them through and let them know one key thing. And I found this to be true, and it might not, but I haven't met a person yet that got rich quick. I haven't met them yet. But even if they won the lottery, they weren't really rich. They made a lot of money, but if they weren't already smart, they're about to be broker than they've ever been in their life, because it's okay to be broke. But once you've had money and you win the lottery and you don't have any discipline, there's a new kind of broke when you've been rich and you lose it all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just a pain that I can see in their face. See it in their face, like, how did I mess over all that money? It's kind of like you see a movie star and then you see them later and they're like broke and they're doing the news story, you know, and it's like they don't just look broke, like, you know what I mean? They still have more money than most of us, but they're broke like in their world. And they look all broke, they look all broke down. Like, not just like they don't have money, but they're just broke. Like, you know, it's like that must be like a horrible feeling. So it's look, and the Bible speaks on that. It says, a fool and his money shall soon part. Like,
amen.
You just cannot be foolish. Like, so there is no get rich quick. Like, you might get money, but you're not going to get rich. Like, when I say rich, I mean like wisdom and sustainability and know how to keep it. Like, you know, it must really feel bad when like you turn around and you're like, golly, I have all this money. I don't understand what to do next. How did I get it? Where did I get it? And you get like swarmed with all these, you know what I mean, like unethical people, you know, because you didn't get it right. So, you know, the resources and the support system that you have will be all out of whack. So I know that if you get yourself into a position where you actually develop a relationship with someone you trust that has experience, that is licensed, that is committed to your financial success, you cannot lose. With the truth I use, I'm just joking. But you know, it's like you just so in a position, you know what I'm saying, where you win. So an investment, before we go on, this investment is to invest, to allocate money with respect and expectation of a positive return in the future. So to invest means like getting an asset. And what's an asset? An asset is something that has the potential of growing more, of increasing in value. And you're getting this asset, if it's a stock, real estate, what you're anything, you're purchasing this asset. And I shouldn't say anything, because you can actually purchase things that they're really not an asset. Because an asset is something that you expect that's actually going to pay off for you at some point. Because I promise you that, like a car, it's not an asset.
Tell it. That's right. Tell it.
It's not a luxury car. Like, you could get a car that you need, like Mr. Hayden, for your Mr. Harding, for your construction company or something like that. Like that's an investment. That's an asset because it's going to create income for you. We can get a reasonable car so it'll take you to work. But if you're going to a job in a luxury car, right, Mr. Jones, you
That's right.
get that off on your taxes.
Not only that, JB, with the new car, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses value.
It goes down in value.
That's right.
So we want it with expectation of a positive benefit or return in the future. So we're buying something that is going to, hold, and I can haul trucks. I can create money where I can put people in the back seat because I'm an Uber driver and stuff like that. Like I'm delivering, but it doesn't have to. It can become an asset, but that's not what we're using. We're just buying the car, going to and from a job, getting a W-2. That is not an asset.
And it's not an asset because it takes money from you. You pay for it on a monthly basis.
And interest.
And interest.
And interest. And even if you buy it with a lump sum, still, right. As you said, it's your lump sum has depreciated the next day.
That's right.
You wouldn't want that in anything else. But we've been socialized to see that it's valuable. Like, what if we have been socialized that it's not okay to have a car payment, but it is okay to put $500 a month into the retirement account at work? Different our lives would be. Like, if you gave me one day, you meet with me, and you give me your car payment, and I calculate for you how much money you would have if you paid this and out, and tell me your first car payment. Like my first car payment that I had was less than $300, but let's just say it was $300. And I did that $300 for 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Because then, and then over those 20 years, imagine how big your car payments got. That was just the first one. But I've had car payments 4 times that big. Yeah, definitely. So but there actually at least were commercial vehicles that I was able to write off as an expense. But you definitely, if you take that money and you put that in an investment, and I show you, an average return, let's just say 8% over a 20-year period. Oh my goodness. Every month you're putting that money in. Imagine the money. We can only imagine. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. You could be a millionaire if you think over 30 years of making car payments, you give me every car payment, and even if your return is the same as with the interest rate that they're charging you, you'd be doing well. So we need to think about when investments are not just, this hot idea, but let's take the time on what is the best use of this money. And I always like to say, if you're about to invest, but you have a credit card balance, that you really should consider paying down that credit card or off before, unless it's in a work plan where you get that company match. But on a non-pre-taxed account and a taxable account, and you're going around with consumer debt, and you're putting money into something else, it's really worth reconsidering or talking about, what is my actual investment return? And making sure that you're not putting in the stock market money that should be your emergency fund. Because the stock market goes up and down. Emergency fund, you need it to always be there for you. You see the difference? So we have to have an emergency fund first. Where are you going to go? That you know exactly what this is going. This is my emergency account, and it's never going to be any lower than this. And some key things to think about is checking out the investment performance, the historical performance, looking at how your money is invested in different asset classes. asset allocation, in our members meetings, we should like break down, like maybe I should do like for this year, like I'm gonna do capital gains on Friday and on wash sales. And then 1 week we should do like asset allocation and what it is and what it means and how the different asset classes and why that's important to have the money, have some in stocks, have some in bonds, have some in cash, have some in real estate sector, maybe have some in international sector. But you know, the different asset classes and industries would be diversifying. Like you can be diversified, but not be diversified across asset classes. So asset allocation, like what asset classes you're in, stocks, bonds, cash, 3 basic categories. If we're buying stocks, some of the stocks could be real estate, some of them could be international, some of them could be technology, all that's still in the stocks. So you can be diversified across stocks, but not have any money in bonds. And that's okay, but you have to realize that that's going to give you a different risk level. You're going to be exposed to more volatility historically. You don't know what the future, the stock market might go up for the rest of our life, but that's highly unlikely. So diversifying across asset allocation and across asset classes, it is a way to manage risk. Diversifying is a way to manage risk, not have all of it in just one type of company or one industry. Rebalancing, it's just readjusting our original setup. We may have 70% stocks, 20% bonds, 10% cash, and we might say, and all of a sudden bonds do well and you've increased your exposure to bonds and it's reduced your stock positions. Rebalancing is to get it back to more in stocks and lower your bond exposure and taking the bond position out because it's high. But you can, we have to be careful with that. I don't support automatic rebalancing. I've seen on some work plans, now they have an option for automatic rebalancing. I don't like automatic anything except for automatic reinvesting, like dividend reinvestments or something like that. But the rebalancing, and all of a sudden you see your winners get sold and they're buying more of the losers, you might not be ready for that. So you have to talk it through.
In those, JB, the target date funds that sit in the 401k, I'm noticing there, more specifically, those, they have like a rebalancing check mark or something, that'll say, let's say your target date is 2045. I think that means that's the year you plan to retire. It'll rebalance the portfolio for you, I guess, every month or whenever it's out of alignment.
Those funds, they have to, that's what they're doing. And they rebalance, like the closer you get to that target date, they automatically rebalance. That's their job. So they're saying, if you say 2025, then the closer you get to 2025, the lower your stock position. And that's the reason the target dates are, they're an option. But my members don't have to use those because that's my job, to help them outperform the target date. But the target date is great for someone who doesn't have an advisor. But when they see that, membership in AfroEconomics for $1 a day, they can have an advisor that's helping them make hundreds of thousands more possibly over their career, they should really reconsider, just getting into a target date fund when you can look at your investment options and look at them quarterly. But and one, even if it's just 1 percentage point over time, it makes a difference. Not just on when it's charging you, but when you're making money, it makes a difference. Isn't that something that we always think, like we see, they tell you a loan and they go, we can bring you down to 3% and you're at 4%, you get all excited. But we should get excited about you're making 3%, and if you correct this allocation, and really manage it better, you could be getting 4%. And yes, it does make a difference. But it is something, if you look, we don't look at it like that, and we should make that money. So yeah, right? So then think about that investment risk is real. Understanding your risk level, understanding that you're not playing, we don't play with money. That's not what we do here. And regardless,
I remember when I opened my account with the other people, the other guy, I wasn't playing with money, but my account sure damn sure looked like I was.
He said, "What is going on?"
I was so happy I met you. You don't know.
And what I don't like is how we're carried often at other firms. Like I remember when I was working at a firm, and I was the only Black person in the office, and like the Black customers, in my opinion, weren't treated like, with the same respect as how the other, the white people were treated. Like, as an example, we're going in, we go to the white guy. The Black people, he would get the assistant to go up to the front desk and get them. But with the Black people, with the white people, he would go up to the front and get them himself. And I was thinking, well, maybe we don't know. But Schwab did just this for 2020, Charles Schwab did a survey, and it said that over 70% of Black investors felt that they were not treated well at financial service firms. So why do we tolerate the behavior? Why aren't I so busy that we're like turning people away for this thing? Like, what I'm saying? It's like, I didn't get it. Like, but so I saw the interview on it, and they were like, okay, what do you think about it? And the reporter was like, well, what do you think about it? Like, that only 30-some% of Black people were, felt that they were treated well, you know what I mean, in financial service companies. And they were like, well, it just feels like we really have some work to do. Like, I'm like, no, really? The Black customer has some work to do. We have to stop settling for our behavior. Like, I have a client who this other guy put her in an investment that she cannot liquidate. She can only take out, like, it was way outside of her risk level. And it's a stock investment in a company that she had no idea what she was doing. And I've never seen this, but it's actually, an investment, and you can only get out of it if they write you a letter and say you can sell some of it this quarter. So they used to do it each quarter, but now they've switched to only allowing you to get out once a year. And if you don't fill out the paperwork, you can't get out of it. She never should have been in it. So when I asked her, I said, what is this? Like, what is it? It was fell up under alternative investment. And she's like, I don't know. I just let them do whatever. Like, really? Do you really think that if I said I'm just putting you into something because it pays me high commission, that you would just do it? That is amazing to me.
JB, we don't read anything. First of all, we let people do whatever they want to do to us because we don't read anything.
But you wouldn't let me do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing business with people that we don't feel comfortable enough? So then I said, well, wait a minute. I said, who are you talking to when you talk to them? And she said, oh, I'm talking to his secretary, this Black girl. And I said, why are you talking to his secretary? He's the one with the license. He's the one that made the mistake. And she said, well, I really, I kind of don't like him because he did this. And I said, I don't care. He made a lot of money off you. You got to call him, and he's got to talk to you, and do not talk to his secretary again, because I'm feeling offended. I'm the president. He's some broker. I'm the president. I own my firm. He ain't even been in the business as long as me. How you feel like you talk to me, but you don't talk to him?
JB, can you hear me?
Yes.
I feel sometimes that people have been dealing with bronze for so long, they don't even know what gold looks like.
Amen. Amen. And she said, you're right. You're right. You're right, JB. You know, you're sitting there, that's your money. But you know what? And then and what happens is we get that, go over there and we get treated so bad. And then you come to a black firm that really cares about you. You know what I'm saying? Really,
that's the goal. That's the goal when somebody cares about you.
You know what I'm saying? We really care, and then be short and judgmental, and you know what I'm saying? A very condescending.
Yes.
But guess what? You appreciate the gold once you've gone through the bronze. You got something to compare to. You wouldn't even know that it's better if you hadn't gone through something that was bad.
But that's because you do. But most of us, we don't.
Okay.
Because you've been treated so bad that we're taking it out. It's kind of like the boss at work treated you bad. You come home and you take it out on those who love you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. You know what I'm saying to us?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And it's really sad. A lot of the times, the problems that I deal with are not problems that are black business problems. I'm dealing with things that white businesses have fallen short on. Because I don't hold the assets. I'm your advisor. I have a company that has custody of the assets. I have companies that we place it with if we like their investments, but I work for you. So if they don't do it right, I'm on your side. You see what I'm saying? I don't work for them. But we're so used to being that. I'm when they don't do what they do, it's not the black company's fault. They did it wrong. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like as if a hairstylist, you know what I mean, got some hairspray and they sprayed the hair on the customer and then the spray, but it has only air. There was no spray in it. I didn't make the can. I didn't fill the can. I didn't put it in there. You know what I'm saying? So we do, so they do. I work for, but we are so used to being connected to the product that we can't disconnect. But that's why most high wealth white investors only work with registered investment advisory firms. Because I have to look out for the best interest of the customer. It comes before me. But we don't get the benefits of J.D. Bryan Financial Group and AfroEconomics. We get confused and we think it's an app. This ain't an app. This is your best interest. This is a firm regulated by the state. You know what I mean? And this your state. The state that you live in. You know what I'm saying? Regulates me. And then even higher, because I have to address I have a federal license. So we have to, you know what I mean? We have to realize there's a difference. And even on the FINRA, you should go to the FINRA website and the FINRA, FINRA.org. Their website will show you the difference between a registered rep and an investment advisor. Totally different. Investment advisor works for you. The registered rep works for the product. Interesting though, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you don't know the lingo.
And the app doesn't work for you. Look, the app don't work for nobody. look that. But the app might ask you, do you want to talk to an advisor? You know what I'm saying? And then they get paid for sending that referral. But that's, with that, definitely with investing, we should be aware of the differences of a stockbroker or an investment advisor. Stockbroker is on a transactional level, suitability level compliance. It just has to be suitable. Your investment advisor, I have to work in your best interest, not just being suitable. It's on a whole higher level. So so understanding your risk is very important to me. And you understanding the importance of making sure that you look out for your own best interests. And don't stay in situations that are not looking out for us. And don't like the first time, the first inkling of these people are not looking out for my best interest is the day that you leave. Period.
I got a question.
Yes.
How true is it that whether it's through another financial company or through the app, that when you purchase the stock, you're not actually getting the whole stock, you're getting a fraction of it?
So yes, some of the apps now will allow you to buy fractions of the shares.
Oh.
So if the stock is, $1,000 and they say, oh, you can buy $50 worth, I always wonder, Mr. Jones, how do they keep up with it? You know what I'm saying? Because the price of the stock is like changing every day.
Every day, right.
If I'm doing $50 randomly, like how do they keep up? But it's all in the computer. It's just all in the algorithm.
Right.
Right. They're kind of selling stocks like mutual funds or sell.
Right.
Like they're giving you the fraction of it. But you better keep up with your stuff because those type of errors are made every day.
Every day.
I would rather save up and buy a full share. And before all of that, make sure that they're participating in the work plan that will allow them to do the money pre-tax. And make sure you find out about, why you should have an individual retirement account, and don't think that 59 and a half is too far away. It's not that far away. It's not that far away. But I challenge all of us, focus on our debt. Focus on our debt. Keep the debts. I'm telling you, it is a lifelong challenge just trying to stay debt free. It's so true.
Got that right. Oh, Lord.
Amen.
It is true.
Everybody chimed in on that one.
Amen.
It is real.
Because things come as a smooth operator. When you see a smooth operator, they're smooth. So they get you sometimes.
Yep. And when they talk about the wealth gap, they're talking about the net worth gap, not how much we've saved. They're talking about the wealth gap is existing because we're going into massive amounts of debt. I saw a study that it said the people who purchase the biggest mortgages are, somebody tell me who do you think? The two demographics that purchase the most expensive houses.
African American.
And who else?
Latino.
You so cute. I know, right? I love you, Benita. It's actually, he said it was Black women and white men.
Oh, wow. I was getting ready to say Black women.
And white men. I mean, think about it, how many sisters got these great big houses. Great big houses. But I don't know, if I had to choose, somebody tell me, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like, if I had to choose, would you choose between the biggest house that you ever dreamed of or a small, healthy waistline? What would you choose?
I'm gonna go with the small, healthy
waistline.
Yeah.
That sounds like the best answer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think like,
No, I think I'd rather have the big house and then work on the waistline.
Well, that's because you got a small waistline.
I'm sorry, I'll work on the waistline later.
Well, that's a good point
I
too.
agree with
That's
you,
a
Gina.
good point. You can run around a big house and get your waistline.
JB,
That's
I've
right.
seen your house and I've seen your waistline. I've known you for years. That's what you have done. You bought a big house and you worked on that waistline.
Oh, I like that,
Don't
Jenny.
talk
Get the
to
big
me.
house and run around it and get a good waistline.
I've
I
seen
like
that
that.
house.
Get good foundation, a good girdle.
That's right. A good girdle.
No,
That's
girdle.
right.
Listen, JB, I know you.
you know what?
I know you.
I love you more. Foundation is very expensive. Like,
Yes, it is.
expensive stuff. Oh Lord, it's expensive being over.
And it's not comfortable either.
I don't know how people did it. I'm like, oh my goodness, I
Oh, that's excellent. Excellent.
couldn't do it. I can't do it.
It'll give you a shape. That's why a lot of these young girls out here don't have no shape. They need to put on a girdle.
No. Tell her, Terry. That's the reason a lot of them have one. Because they got good God. They do a whole nother level.
I have one right in my storage.
Oh my goodness.
I
I
want
wear
to change
mine
my
every
answer.
day.
I'd rather have the big house and run around it and get the waistline. I like that
That's
answer.
right. That's what I say.
That sounds good.
Oh my, I know, but it's just that it's like health is so important. And I've noticed like that over time, as we age and as we become more wealthy or, just make more money, that we just grow and grow and grow. And if we're not careful, and control the stress and not go in, because there's a correlation between debt, and unhealthy, things like high BMIs and debt. If you look it up, high BMI and high blood pressure, so the low credit scores because of debt and high blood pressure. There's a correlation there on like we have to make healthy choices. And it's sad, when you think about these Black women, they're saying that we're going out there buying these expensive houses, by ourselves, because it's Black women and white men. So, you're buying these things, and then you're, going into the stress, and, it's causing, we have to make sure that we're having the quality of life that we deserve. And I think we think sometimes, I know that I did when I used to be in debt, I really thought that it would make me feel better if I bought this car, if I bought this house, if I bought this, like you really think that it will make you feel better. And it does just for a minute.
Yeah.
Until the novelty wears off.
So the novelty runs off and you realize the stress and the work that is required to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to put it in, and so it's an interesting thing about how we have to balance how much of your life are you going to have to give up in order to go into a certain amount of debt, and making sure that you're getting taking care of yourself. So, that's always a sidebar, that 10th principle of AfroEconomics, that our health is such a big part of our wealth. And if you're sitting there investing in things that are stressing you out, it's not worth it. Sitting there worried about it, like your investment portfolio shouldn't stress you. It should, so a lot of people, you sit there and you go, like, someone called me the other day and, and she was like, her account was doing really well. And she was like, a friend of mine was talking about this new company that came out and, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, that's interesting. And she said, well, what do you think? I said, I think that your account is doing great. I said, but I'm not taking any losses in your portfolio. So if you want that, make sure you go and get it somewhere else. Because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to take that hit. And she said, oh, no, because there's a whole bunch of places, but I am, yes, emotionally attached to your financial success. I only want to win. I don't need to take it. There's too many easy ways with evidence to back it up, historical performance to help you build wealth, for me to take unnecessary risks with you. I don't care how good an idea it sounds like. They ain't got no track record. It's not necessary. When you can make, easy based on just doing the right thing, sticking it out. You sit there, then you worried about it. I'm not getting involved in that. Let's worry about that. I don't want you. When you look at me, I want you to think good things. We have enough stuff we can't control. At least let's make sure that we make sound decisions when we invest in stuff. Y'all feel me on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, y'all see Paula Goddard down there. Well, she's down there. You were on time sometime, Paula. maybe you could join the conversation. He said, how's it doing? How is Hopewell? How are you? The Andersons might be moving to Florida, y'all. We got us to connect, y'all. We got us to connect. I can't wait till y'all get down there. We're all coming. Don't you worry. We're coming.
JB,
Yes, indeed, Paula.
I was in, I believe it was 803, but I would just like you to know that I am up here doing my graduate school work and listening to you.
Well, you're sure to do well. You're sure to do well. Keep on doing your graduate school work.
I'm getting some of your brain waves while I'm putting my brain waves into my work.
I'm getting your brain waves. You know, I love it. That's a blessing. Keep on keeping on.
Her hands off of it, but you can hold it.
That's right. That's right. That's how they talk in Hopewell. I hear you.
See, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
It's so good to hear your voice, Mr. Richardson.
Yeah. How you doing? I need to talk to you.
Good. We need to catch up. That's right. That's right. That's right. It's so good to hear your voice. Well, that's a blessing. Listen to the baby.
Yeah, he don't want to take his medicine.
Oh, don't want to hear it. I can't believe it. I don't even want to hear that word medicine. He said,
Yeah.
Don't take it. Don't take it, baby. Don't take it. What's wrong with them?
He got them allergies.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he don't have to take it. I can get out. You know I know the answer to everything. I got the answers to everything. Like, okay, JB, how you going to get rid of the allergies? But remind me to tell you how to get rid of the allergies.
All right, we'll do.
I got the answer. I got the answer. My daughter used to have them. She don't have them anymore.
Yeah.
So at least I got to live
the key is nutrition.
Amen.
Yeah, your supplements and everything and nutrition.
Somebody giving them some dairy or something.
Yeah.
You can't have any cheese. No more cheese, no more ice cream, no more. Oh, listen to him. Young King, got him crying. Well, y'all have a wonderful night. Any questions before y'all leave me?
Take the other shoe off and put them up.
Any questions? How you doing, Sadie White? You just quiet out there. Okay, on Friday morning, we're talking about capital gains and the wash sales. Honor of Miss Davis asking us.
Is that going to be at 9 o'clock or will that be at 12?
At 9 a.m. At 12, we're working on business presentations and all our business stuff. But make sure you participate at 12 also. That's our business network. And we have presentations starting in May. So they come in. We're going to have our own Shark Tank. We got to think of a different name, though. It can't be called Shark Tank. It's got to be something.
Tank of Sharks.
It'll be better. It's better than that. It's better than that. It's our build up. Our build up.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Well, y'all be good. I love you all, each of you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for making this possible. About investments. I know you're gonna have a lot of questions, and don't hesitate. But the point is for me to help you create and make you think about questions, think about stuff. We just need to keep thinking. At FINRA.org, they have a lot of information on making investment choices, on investors, different type of advisors. You get to a better understanding of the advantage that you have of JB Bryan Financial Group as an investment advisory firm, the home of AfroEconomics. Let's continue to build. Debt freedom is one of the answers to having a long life. That's right, Ms. Witherspoon. Ms. Witherspoon said that. That's right. Ms. Witherspoon said of course, she already has a small waistline anyway, right? She said she wants the big house so she can grow her food. That's right. You get that? Yes, this will be big. We have to, you know how we are. We women, we think we can have it all, and we can somehow, some way. We just be about 90 when it all comes together.
Jay, I heard a commercial about you today.
Yeah, I did too. On the radio.
Yes, congratulations. I heard
I have no idea what it is.
Don't worry.
Well, it's good. It's all good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's all good.
You sound good on paper, girl.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, I heard it today too on what was it, 105?
104.7.
Yeah. Well, you all over there.
You all over the place, girl.
Wow.
You look good in that blue. That's my favorite color.
Thank you. You're so positive. Thank you. Y'all making my night.
Listen, one more question. Aloe vera juice or gel?
Gel. Aloe vera. Yeah, we're talking about healthy things for our immune system, detox. That aloe vera gel, I take it every morning and on an empty stomach, and in the end of the day on an empty. You know.
Do you buy the plant and do it yourself, or you?
They squeeze it out for you, and it's not expensive. And it's just a big bottle of it. And I found an organic one, Jenny. I'm gonna send you the picture when they bring it to me.
I saw it at Whole Foods today.
Good.
I'm gonna go to Whole Foods and buy it. I just want to know the gel or the juice. The gel, right?
That's right. That's right.
Girl.
That's so positive. Told you we on the healthy. We on the health and the wealth.
Take care, everyone.
See you all Friday morning.
Good night. Love you, JB.
Good night.
Thank you, JB.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to see y'all.
Thank you.
Any
Good night.
music? Are we getting some nice music tonight?
I know, right? I got carried away. And something I was supposed to turn her back on. I promised Miss Perkins.
Yes.
I need an appointment too.
Yes. I'll make sure she calls you tomorrow. I promise.
Yeah, because you treat me like bronze right now. You know I got my love, buddy.
And you platinum. And you platinum.
I can't tell it. Treat me like 10.
I got you on the 17th for real, I did. It was the 17th, right?
No. I go May 15th, I think it is.
Okay, May. Okay, we good. Okay.
See, you have forgot all about me, see?
No, I didn't.
Get to the woods.
I just thought you had to go in April. And I said, oh, I forgot, so I'm glad I didn't.
No, but I went March, and they put it off until
May. Okay.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. But I'll let you know when we talk.
Thank you so much.
All right. Love you. Have
you.
a great night. Be safe.
Good night. I'm so good to hear your voice. Good night.
Check your
Yeah, we still amongst the living.
Amen. Amen.
JB, check your text.
Which one?
Without it, I could do it, Joe.